Hi guys, Sarah here from Highland Haven Australian Shepherds, trying to be quiet so not to disturb Miss Evie, who is feeding her puppies so nicely, just hanging with them. I've tried to make this video several times to discuss this topic. I just haven't made it in a way that I am satisfied, so I'm going to try again now. So what we're going to talk about maternal aggression, when a mother dog is aggressive towards her puppies. And you'll be surprised to learn that we've seen a little bit of this for a brief period of time with Miss Evie. Hard to believe because she is such an excellent mom in every way. But a few days ago, I guess almost a week ago, Gianna was down here with her. It was about 9 o'clock at night, and she heard some growling and walked over to the whelping box and was able to film Evie showing teeth and snapping at a puppy. Now, Evie did not hurt the puppy. She didn't even make any contact with the puppy. And she was very easily snapped out of it by just a verbal interrupter of, don't do that kind of a thing. I came downstairs as soon as Gianna texted me because it was shocking, because Evie is such a natural and good mother to see her react that way. I want to really, really stress at this point that maternal aggression is a natural behavior. It is very common. Not so much in Australian Shepherds, but there are some breeds where maternal aggression is almost part of it, puppy rearing. Australian Shepherds don't really fall into that group, but that doesn't mean that they can't occasionally display such things. So there's nothing wrong with Evie. This is not something that I am particularly worried about outside of the puppies just being safe and Evie being put in a position where she can be successful and protect her. Not put her in a position where she harms a puppy, right? So this happens. There's a couple of schools of thought. There's really two schools of thought on this. The veterinary medical professional side and the experienced breeder side. I belong to a couple of different Facebook breeder whelping groups, one that has like 30,000 members. And those groups are a tremendous resource of experience for, all breeders. Because it's just, there's so many of us doing it, and we share our ups and downs and challenges and experience and good ideas and all of those types of things. So I'm aware of maternal aggression because I see it pop up all the time in my Facebook groups, because it's an upsetting thing when you see it. And the question is, what causes it, right? So when I say there's two schools of thought, when you're talking about veterinarians, medical professionals, they will tell you that it is not a calcium deficiency, that you can run bloods on a mother who is displaying sudden aggression with her puppies, and her calcium numbers will be perfectly fine. So it's not a calcium deficiency. And then you have it on the other side, where breeders, experienced breeders who've been doing this for decades in some cases, will tell you when this happens, it is a calcium deficiency and the dog needs to be supplemented. So I did reach out to my reproductive vet, specifically for reproduction. That's what I use them for. I drove 30 minutes over to them to pick up some calcium paste. I had originally had Evie on calcium paste when the puppies were being born. That's common. And then I just let her finish out the tube over the few days postpartum, because it's expensive and, she should have a little bit of extra calcium when she's starting to produce her milk. Calcium is a funny thing, because if you give it at the wrong time or you give too much of it, it can cause the dog's body to not produce its own calcium. And then when you cut back or withdraw that calcium, that external calcium, the bitch can actually have very dire consequences and can even die from calcium deficiency. So I understand the vet's point of view, where they're concerned about me giving external calcium at this point. Evie, good girl. So, good girl. He's going to come around. Don't worry. So I did speak to the vet. I did pick up my calcium paste because it was going to take more than a day to get it from Amazon. And we agreed that I would give her a small dose and just for a couple of days to see if it helped. And then I wouldn't see any change anyway for probably 24 hours until her body chemistry sort of stabilized with that external calcium. He was not thrilled with me doing that. We went over all other possible scenarios. Some of them, the ones that you would assume, right? The common sense ones. Was her whelping box too hot? Has she been eating well? Is she not feeling, well? Is there something that's hurting her? Are the puppy's teeth coming in? They were not. How does her milk bar look? Is she maybe getting a little mastitis? all of these external possibilities, pain responses that could cause her to be grumpy with the puppies, right? None of those things, none of those boxes were checked. She was doing absolutely perfect in all of those other circumstances. So it came down for me to calcium. So I did choose to give it to her. I gave her a very low dose, just once a day, and we waited to see what the response would be. In the meantime, it is absolutely vital in a case like this for the mom to never be left alone with her puppies unsupervised again. That's why you see this crate here. And that's unfortunate because it's a lot more work for me and also a little bit less natural for mom and puppies. Obviously, we want her to raise her puppies in the most natural way possible. And now we were saying, nope, you can't be with the puppies unless someone's watching you. Some of you might say, oh, that's so sad. Evie would never. Okay, we don't know that. Evie's an animal. And when the body chemistry is telling you to do something, it is not a conscious thing. So in order to keep the puppies safe, and by extension, Evie safe, we had to move to a model where we have to be in the room when she's nursing her puppies. And when we're not in the room, she has to be separated in a crate. Now, I did put the crate right next to, and that, see that little stretch mark in the crate there? That was because I bought a damaged crate on Amazon. It had nothing to do with Evie, but because it was an open box, it was cheaper. Anyway, so we want Evie to be still right next to her puppies. At this point, I think they were 10 days old or something at that point. So 9 days old. So they could go 3 hours, 4 hours without feeding. So thank goodness for that. So we've created this system where somebody has to be in the room when she's feeding her puppies, which is more work for us, but that's okay. It is very tempting when you see her with her puppies because she's such a good mom to say, oh, it's fine, it's fine. It's not fine. We have to make sure that we set Evie up for success and not failure and make sure that we're here to support her if she starts to feel overwhelmed and grumpy. So back to the calcium. Did it work? I don't know. We gave calcium the day she showed that little bit of aggression. Throughout that day, she was definitely fixating on some puppies, and we were just able to verbally redirect her. I did take her for a walk, thinking that perhaps she needed a little mental health sort of break from the puppies, and that maybe she was just cooped up for too long, which is kind of how it's designed when you have puppies. And she's a maiden mom. In other words, this is her first litter, so she's inexperienced, and was she just feeling overwhelmed? We don't know. But I did give her the calcium, and within 24 hours, all signs of aggression disappeared. So Gianna wanted to know, did that fix it? Did the calcium fix the problem? And my answer is, we'll never know. Is the problem fixed? I think so. Could it reoccur? Yes. So just because since then she's been back to complete, normal, sweet, loving Evie with her puppies, doesn't mean that it can't recur. And unfortunately, the consequences are so severe in those cases that I'm not willing to take that chance. So she does have to stay separated from the puppies when we're not supervising it. I don't know. I think it's awfully coincidental that as soon as we give her calcium, the aggression disappears. But then again, we'll never really know what fixes it. In the meantime, she's back to her sweet, loving self. And I don't feel the need to sit on top of her like I'm sitting right now watching her. I'll sit across the room or even nap in the room with her when she's nursing her puppies. It's not that I'm that nervous. I just want to be in the room in case there's any issue to keep everyone safe and happy. So I've been a little hesitant, go ahead, babe, to post this because I don't want you all to feel like there's something wrong with Evie or that she's a bad mom, because neither of those cases are true. I think you've seen plenty of evidence that she's an excellent mom. Unfortunately, maternal aggression is a real thing. And if you talk to really experienced breeders, they'll tell you it's a calcium thing. And that we have to make sure that she is getting enough external calcium to cover her in a pinch when these things happen. So that's it, guys. Shout out some questions in the comments if you'd like. I'll talk to you later. Bye.